All right, so welcome to our first live episode of A Cleaner Plate. I am personal chef Sabine St. Pierre, and my co-host, if you haven't figured it out, is my twin, Bethany. She's a personal trainer. So health has always been a big thing for us, and A Cleaner Plate has become really about cleaning up recipes. And today we're going to be focusing on kale. It's Kale Month.
There is actually a Kale Month.
We were wanting to squeeze this in October, so we did it. We're getting it in under the wire. But before we start that, I want to raise a glass.
Yes. To herself.
To myself. I love to toast myself. I celebrated 10 years this year, fall, for Sabine's Cuisine.
Ooh.
And
well, you should tell that she was a teacher.
Yep.
I left teaching to pursue cooking.
And I had not imagined in 10 years that this is where I would be, and I could not be more excited about it, and I think I'm most excited about the next 10 years. So
cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Woo! Thank you.
So all right, back to Kale Month.
Back to Kale Month. So we both do big gardens, and we talked in our grilling episode about the forest of kale that my husband plants.
It's literally a forest. I've never seen kale. It was like a mountain of kale. I had kale envy because mine got eaten by cabbage worms.
Yeah, ours didn't. I don't know why.
I think because he grew it from last year.
Probably. So I picked all this kale today, so it's nice and fresh. And we're going to be using it in multiple ways. I think a lot of people tend to do kale chips. Anyone ever do kale chips before? I think they're best like right out of the oven. Other than that, yeah. I can't be bothered. And smoothies. Anyone put kale in their smoothies? It's a very popular use of kale in smoothies. And it's a good use, but kale can do so much more for you. And it's good for your bodies, all the vitamins in it. So we're gonna make 3 different dishes today to highlight kale. The first one we're gonna start working on.
I thought you were gonna say hide it.
No hiding.
That is actually one of my specialties, is hiding vegetables.
It is. Well, that's where I thought you were going with it.
And my clients' food, so the kids can't tell that it's in there.
We're highlighting.
We're highlighting the kale. Bethany is going to be working on a kale salad, and I wanted to show you, I'll give you a bunch of kale to work with over there. This is curly kale, very hardy, very thick.
Well, and I feel like a lot of people don't think that you can actually make a salad out of this and have it taste good because it's so hardy.
Right. But the first thing you want to do after you wash it is take the stem out. And there's a couple different ways you can do that. Very sharp knife. You can just hold it up like this, and I just shave down the stalk.
That's way easier. I always do things the hard way till I do these shows and figure out the easier way to do it.
The magic of, yeah. You learned this the hard way, not to put this down a garbage disposal.
I was house sitting for someone, and I put them all down the garbage can or garbage disposal, and it clogged it because it shreds it like spaghetti.
Yeah, it's bad.
Not good.
She had to call the plumber. It's not
I
good.
don't recommend doing that. Just throw it in the trash.
So
compost it.
You can start de-stemming that kale over there. And this is probably the most common kale that you'll find in the supermarket. And then all I do is just bunch it up. This is what I do to my parsley too, because it's hardy, it's not going to bruise. Let me move this out of the way. We're going to use that next. Nice sharp knife, always helpful.
Your knife is like super sporty.
I know, this is new. You like it?
Isn't that sporty?
Yeah,
I've never seen a knife.
Someone gifted it to me.
It's very nice.
Yes, thank
I
you.
like it.
And it's phenomenal. So all I'm going to do is bunch it up, get those fingers out of the way, and I'm going to make nice small slices. It's sort of like julienning basil. You know, you do nice thin slices of basil.
Everybody juliennes basil.
I'm getting fancy with my terms today. So I'm just going to keep slicing it all the way through. So it's nice and fine. It's not those big, thick pieces. I mean, nobody really wants
but that's why I think people don't like to eat it.
This is for your bunny. This is for your rabbit. And then this, see how it's nicely, finely shredded? It's pretty awesome. So it's already started to break down the kale a little bit. And this is going to go right into the bowl, and I'm going to have Bethany keep working on her shredding of her kale. You're doing a nice job.
Thank you.
Nice and small.
I don't have as skilled.
Well, you have plenty of kale to practice on. Pretty easy though, right? This is the most time-consuming piece of this salad, and then it comes together after that. And what I like to do too is do a lot of, I just take a whole bunch of it, shred it all, put it in a gallon Ziploc bag, and put it in the fridge for a week.
And it does last a week.
No, it lasts all week.
It holds up a lot better than other
It's great.
lettuces and spinaches.
Yes.
I don't think I'm doing this exactly the way you do it.
Keep going. I'm going to get these potatoes into the oven for us. So these are just little baby potatoes. I go with baby potatoes because I don't have to cut them. Anything that saves you time when you're prepping. These you can just pop right in the oven, no dicing, no peeling, and a little salt and pepper. And these are for our kale pesto that we're going to do. Yeah, I'll use this one.
Did you have
I did, a big one.
Oh,
Have
yours
you
is
ever
cooler.
seen a pepper
Mill.
grinder that large? Go big or go home, people. All right, so I'm gonna zhuzh those around a little bit.
zhuzhing. That's a technical term.
You love my
I
technical
do.
terms.
That's actually one of my favorites. Zhuzhing.
All right.
I don't use it often enough.
I usually roast those around 400 for about 20, 30 minutes. I check them every once in a while, give them a toss, and we're gonna let those do their work. How's your kale salad coming?
Not bad.
You tired yet? You
No, I'm just trying not to cut
burn
myself.
calories while you're prepping your kale. So in this pot, this was actually Grammy's pot.
Oh, I
This
always
is like
forget
one of
that.
like an old Le Creuset. Anyone have Le Creusettes in here, like the nice thick pots? This is from a long, long time ago, and it's my grandmother's, and I love cooking with it. All right, we're making a stoup. Anyone want to guess what a stoup is? I can use my microphone. Can I use my microphone? Is it working yet? Here you go. Anyone? Soup. Stoup. Yes, it's a mix between a soup and a stew.
Mike's working, thumbs up in there.
You have
We're
to actually
good.
talk. So I'm putting in onion. I'm going to dice up my onion, and actually, while you're
Oh, am I supposed to be making
You're
my
supposed
salad?
to be working.
Oh, sorry.
The dressing for the salad, I'm going to dice my onion while she's doing that.
Well, so I'm going to add some dried cranberries.
Actually, before you do that, I like to work with the kale first. There's actually, some people have the job of massaging kale.
Really?
Yes, because it helps get the acidity in there, whether you're using a vinegar or we're going to use lemon today. It's just lemon and olive oil. That's it. So you're going to go ahead and squeeze some lemon juice in there. I start off with half a lemon, and then I usually kind of give it a taste, see how
This is one of my favorite kitchen gadgets.
I got that just for you, by the way. I don't use it. I
don't know
use
why I love
my
it so much,
hand.
but it really gets the juice out.
I'm pretty strong though.
See? Look at all that juice.
Did it get you? That was lemons.
Lemon injury.
Lemons are dangerous.
Oh.
But they make a great dressing and so simple. So then I go through, you can use your hands, sometimes I use 2 forks, and really get that lemon juice in there. You want it to coat all of the
I feel
kale.
like we might need a little more.
Okay.
You just want to squirt me in it.
She's
I am like a rule
That,
follower,
and
so if a
she's a
recipe
recipe
tells
follower.
me to add half a lemon, I add half a lemon. But I'm learning that you can taste it, and if you feel like you need a little more, you
Some
can add a
people
little
like
more.
a lot of lemon and some people don't. And we're going to offset it with the olive oil too. So if it's
I'll just do a half.
too lemony,
I'll do a half a zhuzh.
have a squirt in there.
Are you safe?
I'm good. Good.
All right. So this is heating up, hopefully. We're in here.
I need a bigger bowl. It's
That
jumping
actually should
out.
be good. That should
Okay.
be good.
No, we're
And
good.
it wilts down after a while. So I wouldn't be worried about filling it too much. You're good to go.
So only dress as much as you're going to eat from your gallon Ziploc bag.
Yes.
Unless you
and
like it
actually,
soggy.
this salad will last
Can
a
I
couple
add-
of days with the lemon on it. So next I go in with the olive oil. So we're coating the kale. Coat the kale.
See, this is where if you told me 2 tablespoons, I'm kidding.
She can't do it. She can't not have
I just
a recipe.
like to be told.
All right. So we're putting onion in here, and we're going to do some sausage. I'm going to brown some sausage. I'm just going to let it heat up a little bit. And I went with pork sausage, but you certainly, if you're cleaning up the recipe, you could go with chicken sausage. And I went with mild, but you can
You
go
could use
spicy.
spicy.
And if you have people that don't like spicy, you can add some red pepper flakes like my husband does after. I mean, he douses it. It's a family thing with them.
Can I
does
add
it.
this rest of the stuff now?
No.
Are we, really?
Next, Parmesan cheese.
Does it have to be in that order?
So I do actually, I don't follow many rules when I cook, but this one I do in order because I really want to coat the kale, and then I add the cranberries and the sunflower seeds after. All right, I'm just going one more of these in
I
here.
thought you were joking around.
No, I'm not joking. There is a process for that one.
A method to the madness.
There's always a method to my madness. All right, so she's going in with that. So she has her favorite tool. I have my favorite tool,
The garlic press.
my garlic press. I already smell like food everywhere I go. I don't need to also smell like garlic. So if I can save my hands, I can certainly use my nice, beautiful, sharp knife to chop garlic, but I prefer to use my garlic press.
All right, I'm going in with the dried cranberries and the sunflower seeds.
Okay, you can.
Oh, thank you.
I put cranberries in everything, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
They're just,
No, these make this salad.
yeah.
That's
I'm going in
nice.
with my garlic.
Add some sunflower seeds.
I'm gonna go all in with all my garlic. We were just
You're
talking
bold.
earlier, talking with someone earlier about all the garlic that we
Yes.
love. Garlic makes everything better, as does Parmesan cheese.
That's true.
So if you have a dairy concern or issue, you could certainly leave the Parmesan cheese out of this recipe. You just would need to add a little bit more salt. Parmesan cheese is pretty salty,
Yes.
so I usually add that, and then we can add some salt and pepper to finish it off.
Salt mill.
Because you want to taste the saltiness of the Parmesan cheese first before you add any additional salt. I also kind of like things salty as much as garlicky.
Riker,
So.
last night my 3-year-old was asking for pepperoni. And I had the pepperoni salt. And I had no idea what he was talking about, but he was asking for pepper. The pepperoni salt. And he brought me into the kitchen, and then he brought me over to the stove, and he pointed to the pepper mill. It's pepperoni salt. Didn't you know?
That's awesome.
Didn't you know, Mommy?
Hello. Do you like my smoke effects going on?
Very
here?
nice.
It's very Halloween.
This is not like TV magic happening right here. This is like legit.
This is legit. This is really happening. Oh, and this is another favorite tool. I think I've used it before.
Yes, that I never had till I met my husband.
Mix and chop.
It
Anyone
actually makes a difference when you're chopping
that's
up meat.
doing anything with ground meat, chili, good time of year for chili with all the tailgating going on. The mix and chop, you got to get the wrist action in there and chop down, and it breaks it up into nice little chunks.
does.
Otherwise, you sit there with this thing and you chase that one big chunk, and you can never get it. You can never get it. So this gets it.
Yes.
So we go with that. If you want
My salad's done,
your
I
salad
think.
is it's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Did you try
It does actually look very nice.
Yes. Doesn't it that pretty? And I serve that at family gatherings when friends come over, and you know, some people would go
And it
for more
looks
of a
a good
traditional.
easy make ahead.
Well, it's easy make ahead, and I think everyone should be introduced to kale salad
Yes.
because they're gonna love it. 9 times out of 10, people tell me they love it.
It is delicious.
And we also just have to use a lot of kale all summer to go
They
through the
have
forest
a
of
lot
kale.
of kale. Like, I don't even know how you use it all.
For an army. So if you want to help me chop some of this,
Oh, I thought I got to use the thing.
I
Fine.
know, sorry.
I'll take the kale.
This is a different kind of kale. We looked up the pronunciation.
The guy was
Lacinato.
Spanish and had a great accent. It's lacinato.
Oh, say it like he did.
I don't know how
Oh.
to do it, but it's
You don't
lacinato.
have lacinato. Tuscan kale. Go with Tuscan kale. It's easier. This I don't destem. I don't feel like they're as rigid.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a hearty spinach. I think it actually means black cabbage.
Yeah.
So we're just going to chop this up. And this I go a little bit bigger. I sometimes will saute it with just garlic and olive oil and lemon and have that with like a piece of fish with kale pesto on it. And it's so good. So this is all in.
Am I chopping my kale?
Yes. So it doesn't have to be nearly as shredded as that
Okay, I'm just
kale that
gonna
we
do
did for the
the same
salad. So we
thing.
can go with bigger chunks. This actually browned up nicely. I can get rid of my tool. And you can make as small of chunks as you want or keep some bigger ones in there. And we'll chop some kale together in unison like twin.
And
Could
we're
make
chopping.
music.
I'm over chopping.
There we go. I'm chopping, I'm chopping. So,
Whoa!
Don't hurt your
My
tool.
precious lemon tool. Okay.
All right, cannellini beans. Awesome protein, good fiber. We're going all in. Bloop. My friend Meg actually showed me this recipe, and she uses pasta in it, which, especially, again, this time of year, now that we're getting back into the comfort foods, it's so good.
This is a really good recipe.
But if you're watching out, if you're looking out for gluten, or you just don't want it to be as heavy, I often will make it without the pasta. And
I do add the pasta sometimes to make it go a little further.
It does stretch it.
It does stretch it.
And if you have a gluten allergy, you could certainly use a gluten-free
Pasta.
pasta. Thank you. The word escaped me.
Good thing I'm here.
I know. I think I need a sip of Prosecco.
Not a bad idea.
Well, he needs a job.
Once that's empty, I'm up.
I know.
Okay.
So we're going to add in our kale. Go ahead, add that in. And this comes together really quickly too.
Yes.
Great for lunches, makes an awesome dinner, but leftovers are great.
And this is one of those things, if you keep the chicken stock on hand and the cannellini
Yeah.
beans in your pantry,
You always have it.
and have a forest of kale in your backyard, you can just whip it right up.
And you could certainly do this with shredded chicken if you don't
Yes,
want to do
and
sausage.
I actually, and sometimes instead of kale, I do escarole.
Can I steal your Parmesan cheese? Oh, so thank you. My friend Meg makes it with escarole.
Yeah.
And I wanted to switch it up and use some kale, because it's kale month.
Some lasiento.
Ooh, nice.
Thank you.
And I have another chef friend, Danielle, who was telling me she adds diced tomato or like a crushed tomato to this.
I'm going to check on the
Oh yeah, the potatoes.
I'm gonna
So to thicken this up, to make it from more of a soup to a stew consistency, to get our stoup in there, I am just gonna add some Parmesan cheese. Again, if there's a dairy issue, you leave the Parmesan cheese out and it just has a little more soupy consistency. So I've only added enough chicken broth to get it, I'm not soaking it, I didn't go all the way to the top with it. I just filled it enough, and I'm gonna add a little bit more to get our stew consistency. And again, same thing with the Parmesan cheese.
Well, it's a lot.
I didn't measure.
I know.
I added the Parmesan cheese, so that's got your saltiness in there.
Well,
So-
the sausage for sure.
And the sausage has saltiness, so chances are you probably don't need to add any more salt.
And do you have a particular chicken broth you like to use, if I
I
remember correctly?
do. I like Swanson.
And do you use the no salt kind?
I usually try to go low sodium, because you can always add the sodium in, you can't take it out once it's in there. So going low sodium or unsalted gives you that freedom to add in as much salt as you desire.
Yes.
So, all right, so that's coming.
That's our stoup.
That's our stoup, and that's gonna be delicious later. And everything's cooked, ready to go, and so I'm gonna shut
Do
it off.
I need my cutting board?
No, I'd leave your cutting board.
Oh.
We're gonna make,
Oh, right. We're doing.
yeah, let's move this out of the way. Okay.
It's
This-
time for the pesto.
Anything that is in overabundance in my garden, parsley,
Becomes pesto.
basil, it becomes pesto. So when we had all this kale, what was I gonna do with it? I was gonna make pesto.
I have a parsley tree. I don't know if anybody has gardens and grows parsley, but mine is like this big. I don't even know how
Yeah.
it got that big.
Parsley pesto.
I didn't.
And
think you
actually,
could
the
make pesto.
parsley pesto recipe I do is very similar to the ingredients that we're gonna put into this
Oh, I just
kale
threw that
pesto. If you wanna grab some kale for me.
Which kind am I grabbing?
The
The
curly.
curly?
Yeah. You can't touch our decor.
I know. We don't want to ruin the ambiance.
So we're going in with about a half a cup of sunflower seeds. Traditionally in pesto.
Am I doing the same?
Yes.
You don't use the stem.
And if you don't feel like using your knife, just rip it.
That's not as fancy.
I do think it's fun to do.
I
with
do
knife.
actually kind
Right?
of. This is the first time I've ever done it
Yeah.
that way, and I'm.
And the sharp knife is a must when you're gonna do it that way.
They actually make a
So-
tool that has a little hole that you can pull
I
it through.
did see that.
Yeah.
You're a gadget person. I'm not as much of
they're
a
kinda
gadget person
fun.
as you. Garlic. We're gonna put a little garlic in there.
I'm putting this in.
Yes. So traditionally, pesto has pine nuts in it. And we are going with, I'm going to take this off our heat here. I like sunflower seeds. I actually feel like there's a nuttier flavor with sunflower seeds than with pine nuts. And pine nuts are so expensive.
They are so expensive. I just
seeds are
did
cheap.
my basil pesto I did with
Yeah.
sunflower seeds, and it was delicious.
So I am going to give this garlic a rough chop, and that's going to go into my food processor. If you want to, where's our lemon? Lemon?
I'm zesting.
She's zesting. Lemon peel has so much flavor in it.
How much am I zesting?
I would zest the whole thing, and you just want to go to a point where it starts to reach the white. The white is going to start to get very bitter, so you don't want to go too far. So you're just going to keep rolling it. She's going to put that in. I am, where's my Parmesan cheese?
Oh, I got it.
Gotta have the Parmesan cheese. And again, you can totally leave it out. Just you're going to need more salt. So I'm going in with Parmesan cheese. And then we're going to add some olive oil. And this freezes great. That's the other great thing about pestos. They freeze beautifully, and I have these little cups, little like 2-ounce cups, Jell-O shot size. That you
Not that you drink Jell-O
yeah,
shots.
that you, well, that's the easiest ones for people to find out in the store. And I just fill those and pop them in my freezer, and then you have it all year round. So
And actually, I found this sausage one freezes well too. I like to make a big batch and have
yeah.
some in the freezer,
Good idea.
like a Ziploc bag, flat, so you can thaw it real fast.
Nice. Good tip.
Thank you. I learned from the best.
All right. So I'm going to put some olive oil in there, and we're going to go for.
See, this is where I think measuring is sort of at least a baseline.
All right, this is going to be a little loud. Everyone ready?
Oh, this one is really loud. Yeah.
Actually, this one is not as loud as the last one we used.
Oh. Oh, that's not bad.
so bad. Not so bad. And then I'm just going to drizzle some in. And next, I'm going to have you do juice. You get to use your juicer.
Ooh.
Yep.
Both halves.
Yeah. Lemon really brings out some brightness in kale. And I love lemon.
Or hides it. Kale really is delicious. I do mean it.
We make fun of kale, but you really should love it.
I do, actually.
I'm going to squeeze under you.
I would prefer kale salad to regular salad.
Yes. And throw some grilled chicken in there.
Mm-hmm. The whole meal.
Yum. All right. So that's going to help with our liquid factor. I usually try to go for my pestos like a thick mayonnaise consistency.
Am I taking the oh, you took the potatoes out.
I did. Look at you.
That's stealth-like.
I know, I sort of did it behind
You
your
did.
back. You were so engrossed in your kale pesto. So let's do spoons. Try it. See if it needs some salt. You definitely want to salt kale pesto.
Yeah.
Need some salt. All right.
Or cheese.
Or more cheese. Could always use more cheese.
Well, there's only a little bit in there.
All right, go ahead.
I'm living on the edge.
I have more over here. Do you want this? So tempting. All right, let me grab this just to scrape it down a little bit. Get these in there. And I haven't tried this yet, but I would think that this would be good on sweet potatoes, or if you did some sort of a root vegetable, roasted root vegetables. Yeah, kale pesto would be really good on it. All right, this is all looking good.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and if you want to take that. Parchment. I love parchment
Best
paper.
thing ever. I used to be a tinfoil person to the end, but then I sort of started to wonder, is cooking on tinfoil really safe?
Yeah, what
Not
do we-
sure. I think the jury's out on that one. But
So potatoes are going in.
parchment does the
mess.
job. Sometimes I'll do the tinfoil under the parchment paper.
Oh, just in
for
case
like
it
greasy
leaks.
things, like bacon.
Yep.
See, I
But things
learned.
crisp up nicely. I know. Well, I just try to. Oh, yeah. Oh, good.
Tasting.
Prosecco break. No.
All right, get the pesto on there.
Oh, am I just throwing it in there?
Did anyone have any questions? Yeah, go ahead and throw it in there. Anyone have any questions while we're getting ready to eat in front of you? No? Awesome.
I have one question.
Yes.
What's the square root of pi divided by the speed of light?
Can I text my husband?
Sure.
He's a
Oh,
mathematician.
he would totally know that.
So when was the last time you ate this meal?
This I ate a week ago. This salad I eat every week. And the potatoes, 3 nights ago. I'm working through the kale. I
Yeah,
have to
right.
use the kale. It can't go to
She
waste.
has no choice.
I really don't have a choice.
To eat kale on a daily basis.
You got that. Let's
Oh, I
get
need some
this.
stoup. We need some
We
stoup.
need some stoup. All right, here's a fork for you, fork for me. And this really is, we joke about this in our last episode, like how this is our most favorite part of an episode. I'm giving you lots of kale here, is the tasting part of it. I mean, I'm a foodie, I love everything, but, you know, we try to clean it up and get some
And you do a really good
veggies.
job of making healthy things taste really good.
Thank you. That's why everybody loves me. Nice job on the kale salad.
Thank you.
We're gonna actually give you some. We'll let you taste it. We made plenty, as you can see. So, thank you all for tuning in. This was super fun going live. I think I can do it again.
I might drink more Prosecco beforehand.
Yeah, that's okay. And so, but thank you for tuning in, and hopefully you'll join us next time in our quest for a cleaner plate. Have a good night.
Thank you.